Hello, Assalamu alaikum. This is Hurmat Riaz, signed in from Citizens Archive of Pakistan's Lahore office. Well, I welcome every one of you joining in today, and the book that we are going to session towards you guys. So the book is basically a collection of short stories, and but in these short stories, there is this one protagonist, Torbas, which keeps on appearing in. While also I was reading the book, I found the book to be quite sensitive and dark at some points, and it really hit reality. So I would really encourage you guys to come up and give your opinions about the book. And if any one of you would like to give a little summary of a short story from the book, or maybe every one of you can pick up a story and give us its summary, and then we can take the conversation from there. So, Lashkarga, over to you.
Yes, in the name of Allah, I am Ahmed Shah Haidari from Hilman Lashkargah. I want to share information on this book. This book is very beautiful book which written by Jalil Ahmad. Jalil Ahmad was born Islamabad 1931 year. This book is in this book have some story like the science of the mother, the void, the mullah, and also another title. In we study this book, a lot of parts of this book, like the mullah, the guide, and also we get a lot of information of this book, like by the every way.
Yes, please go ahead. Would you like to give a summary of the first short story?
First, this story like the science of the mother that I study story. We purpose of this story, and also the title they write on one proverb. A pretty proverb, DC to if the eyes of my crown empty, let the stand by as a high, and also after the can their story, and we study this story.
Thank you so much for your thoughts. Anyone else from Lashkargah would like to come up and talk about the book?
Yes, this book have this book in this book written some story. The first I see to by almost there of all there of all have a lot of benefit every story. A lot of benefit for us, and we should to learn this book because their story have a lot of benefits in our life, like the like we get the experience of which they written in this book. We get a lot of information in the in every way of the life.
Thank you so much. I would like to point that out here that this story is basically set on the tribal region between and on the borders between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And it really highlights those lands which are basically not that much represented in our mainstream media. They're not that much talked about, but when they come into the news or when they come into the area, they show that these war-stricken lands, or these barren lands, these dry regions where people are very strict and they abide by their tribal traditions and their customs. So I would really like to know from you people that this book really highlights uh, how these customs and these traditions bind people and not let them live their lives according to their own choices. So, did you guys feel anything like that while reading the book, or do you have any opinion on what kind of impact these uh, traditions and these customs play on one's life?
Yes, this book is by this way good book. This book is almost national by the border of Afghanistan, Iran, and Pakistan. This people can study this book, and also almost the people of this three country, and also another people came to join up this book, and they can study this book. Every person of this people can to get information from this book.
Anyone else would like to
That's
come up and
wonderful.
answer my question?
If anybody else from Helmand would like to answer the same question, that how the book and the tradition shown in the book, how they feel that those traditions have an impact on the lives of individuals who are surrounded by those traditions. So yeah.
In the name of Allah, my name is Bashir Ahmad. My last name is Tuesday. I want to talk about this book. This book is written by Jalil Ahmad. This is right for you, for me, for another person's. We should learn this book by this guy. They write for me, for you, for another person's.
I think we lost you. Can you hear them, Helmand?
Yes, I can. Is there any particular story in the book which you really liked?
Yes, because some person they like this book because they the good information to write this book.
What kind of information that you found in this book?
Story like stories and another write this book.
So, can I please ask your name? What is your name?
My name is Bashir Ahmad.
So, Bashir Ahmed, do you think the writer represented the tribal culture or the tribes correctly in this book? Was the representation correct? Was it close to reality?
Yeah. Yes, this is the Sure. Okay, this book, this is the right from Jalil Ahmad. I don't learn this book because I have some work and I get to you information to another person.
Okay, please. Anyone else would like to come up and talk about how if you guys feel that this book was close to reality or not?
In the name of Allah, my name is Muhammad and my last name is Kakar, and I want to speak about this book that which write it about the Jamil Ahmad. Jamil Ahmad was an Abai in the hill of Iran and Pakistan and Afghanistan that the soldier of Iran throw in the hill. And one time the Pakistan and Afghanistan soldier want to be assist for Jamil Ahmad. And Jamil Ahmad was a very poor person in all Pakistan. And this book, I want to speak about this book. This book was very important for us, for all of us and we should be learn this book that the right of this book is very important for us. Or I learned two stories like Mula and the rights of mother. If we look this book, that time we can that time we can that time we can search for the rights of our mother, and that time Allah will be happy from us, and that time the messenger of us that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will Allah told, I will give reward to you if you find the rights of your mother. And this book we can all of we looked in this book all of the rights of our mother.
Thank you so much for your thoughts.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, the girls have also connected from Lashkar Gah. Girls, I'll come back to you guys. We are going to the girls section. Lashkar Gah's female section. Can you guys hear me?
Maybe they have internet problem, connection problem, and they will answer it soon as we message them.
All right, no problem. We can continue. All right, we can continue the conversation with you guys. So at this point, I would really like to talk about this one particular short story, which basically shows that how borders don't matter for the people who are for the tribes and for the people who are living on the borders between Pakistan and Afghanistan. So there's this one particular tribe. I'll just give a short summary of the book and then I'll ask a question to you guys. There's this tribe who is living on the border. It's living on the Pakistan side of the border, but they have to leave their land since they are nomads. They are a tribe. They want to move towards the Afghanistan region. So when they are moving, when they are trying to cross the border and when they're moving, they get attacked by the army and they get shot and spot between two countries. What do you guys think about borders? Are they necessary? Should a land which is similar on both sides of the country, should there be a border, or are borders important? What do you guys think about that? You guys can have any kind of answer to that question. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just your opinion that matters.
In the name of Allah, my name is Muhammad Shaib, and my last name is Mahmoudi, and I am from Lashkar Gah, and also the border is not very important for the two countries like from Pakistan and Afghanistan, because we are have unity, and also we are have the culture, one culture and a falcon, because and we are have unity. If we look, and also I like Pakistan and their falcon, their cultures, also their peoples, the Muslims and others.
Thank you so much for your thoughts. I would really like to direct this question towards the girls section of Lashkar Gah. Can you guys hear me?
Hello to everyone. Yes, we can hear you.
Did you guys get to hear my question, or should I repeat it?
Lashkar Gah girls, can you hear us?
I think they are discussing the answer.
Yeah. But I think the point laid out by our friend in Lashkar Gah boys section and how he said that what does not really matter is very true, and it's something that I do resonate with. I mean, earlier today we were discussing a book called Empire of the Indus, which you guys all also get a chance to read. During that book, where we talk about the Indus civilization and how the civilizations are so connected, one of the points that did come up was the use of borders, because these borders that we see around us have only been there for a couple of decades, and the civilizations have lived together for centuries and millennia. So it's a very interesting point that you brought about, that why borders are existing today and how they restrict the communities in engagement with one another. So yeah, I really appreciate you bringing that point up.
Um, LLC Lashkar Gah female section, can you guys hear us, and would you like to answer this question? But what do you think about borders, and especially the borders between Pakistan and Afghanistan and the tribes that live over there? If you think from their perspective, if you think from their mind, are borders important, and should the borders exist? If they are not, why they are not important, and if they are important, why they are important?
One of the participants will answer your question.
In the name of Allah, in the name of Allah, my name is Ranga, my last name is Ras, and this is very important for all Helmand city and Lashkargah.
Would you like to talk about the book? What did you think about? Did you get a chance to read the book?
No, I read a book.
That's all right. It's all right.
Did you read the book?
Yes.
So would you like to talk about the book? What did you think about it? And if you would like to give us a summary of any of the short story that was in the book?
And this book story is a one man, and her name is Jamil Ahmad, and he's the soldier, and etc.
Anyone else from your side would like to come up and talk about the book?
So I have a question for the girls at Lashkar Gah. This book pretty much talks about the tribal culture that we see in both Pakistan, the northern sides of Pakistan, and in Afghanistan. The book also portrays how culture and how tradition in these tribal regions kind of dictate the lives of their individuals that are living in there. So I just want to ask the female section that how do they resonate with the tribal culture that is depicted in the book, that is shown in the book? How the stories that we read in the book, the short stories, are there certain aspects that they can connect with, or are these thoughts something very far away from reality? So anybody from the Lashkar Gah girls section would like to answer that question for me? Uh, we we can ask the same question can be addressed by the guys in Lashkar Gah, the boys in Lashkar Gah, that how do they feel the tribal culture that was shown in the book was close to reality? So we have a lot of tribes in Afghanistan as well, right? So is the tribal culture very close to how Mr. Jamil shows in the book, or is it very different than that?
Sorry, sir, there is connecting problem, and we can't hear your sound completely. It is burned, so I don't know what
Hurmat, can you relate? Can you communicate my question to them?
have to do about this.
You can see it in the
Okay.
chat box. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Till then, Lashkargah boys section can take up this question.
In the name of Allah, for again, I'm Muhammad and my last name is Kakar. And I want to speak about your question that what is the answer of this question. If we look to the situation of Afghanistan and Pakistan, Pakistan remove from us a lot of problems like if we have on sick, that time we don't have a good doctor in Afghanistan, that time we revisiting to Pakistan, and that we this is the very this is very this is schools in Afghanistan, and that our co-education is very weak, and now nowadays if we look to the education of girls, that they can't speak Afghanistan. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your input. LLC Lashkargah girls section, have you guys read my question? Your mic is muted. Please unmute your mic. I think they're having a discussion among themselves.
I I feel like they're having technical difficulties in connecting and unmuting them. Oh, they have unmuted themselves.
Shall I start? So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I want to talk about the cultures of Afghanistan. So, my name is Arzo and my last name is Nico. So, there are many cultures in Afghanistan that are related with the country of Pakistan. So, some of them are good and some of them are not good, but we are enjoying our cultures because this is something that we can relate it through the what to say, like the past of Afghanistan and the history of that. So these are the cultures of Afghanistan that we have. Some of them are conservative and some of them are not. That as much as we can, so we are going through our cultures because this is the only thing that we can go through it. And there are some cultures that we have the wrestling and that and we are enjoying that, and we have the horse races in our culture, and as well as our milli atan. These are the our cultures that we enjoy the most, and thanks for your attention.
You're welcome. You mentioned that there are a part of your culture and tradition which are not so good. So, being a woman, how do these or if you want to tell us if how they do not come up and talk about that, because I can really talk about the society which do not support me being as a woman.
Lashkar Gao, were you able to hear her question?
Can you say what a question again, please?
I just want to ask, you mentioned that there are some parts of your culture and tradition which are not so good. So being a woman, how does the not so good parts of your culture and tradition impacts you, or it makes, your life a bit difficult?
Yeah. The only that they are not supporting us, that is the early marriage of girls. As much as we can to remove this culture, that we are not able to do it, because in our urban cities they are doing the same thing. And though we are living in city, and we have the knowledge of that, and we know that it's not good for them, because they also have life, and they also need to improve their life and have fun some and enjoy their life, what dream they have in their life, they have their in their life, so they wanted to become true for them. But their families and their parents, some of them, I will not say all of them, but some of them are the same. They are not supporting. So this is the bad culture of our country, that they are not supporting their children, and urban cities, not in cities.
So what do you think how this problem of girls getting married early can be solved? Have you any ideas? Do you have any ideas on that?
Yeah. If we try, and if we talk with their parents, we can. But the problem is that they are not accepting. They are not listening to us. Whatever we said to them, they are saying, "This is our life. This is and this they are our children. So why you are, for example, interrupting in this?" So they are not listening to us. If we can, so we will definitely do for them.
Thank you so much for your input. I exactly feel the same. In the tribal regions of Pakistan, or in the regions where traditions and customs are followed very rigidly, early marriages or maybe child brides are very common. And I also come from a family who is very rigid when it comes to their traditions. And early girls getting married early in their lives is very common. And I am one of those few women in my family who is like, no, I want to work, I want to get an education, and then I'll get married. So when I talk to my elders, it's really difficult to make them understand that these people, your children, they have their own lives. They have a choice to live their lives on their own terms. So I know, and it's a very difficult thing to have this conversation or make them understand. And most of the times, they don't understand what you are trying to say, and it becomes, yeah, the conversation, it becomes very heated. It becomes very difficult. But I'm so glad that you opened up about this. Would anyone else from your side would like to talk about this?
Anybody else?
Or do you guys have any solutions that it's apart from making a conversation or talking to them, talking to your elders or making them understand, is there any other way to solve this problem?
So I think, meanwhile, while they discuss amongst themselves, I have a question from what Hurmat was just talking about, and I think it's a very important conversation to have. I have a question for Lashkar Ka boys, that we hear, like your fellow from Afghanistan just explained, Arzu, that how women are restricted by these cultures and these traditions and the norms and values. Being in a patriarchal society, the burden always falls upon the men, and it should, rightly so, I believe so, where men have to step up and have to provide the platform for these talented and young individual women to explore themselves, explore their own being and themselves, and being able to differ from the normal traditions that we've seen above. So I just wanted to ask our friends in Afghanistan, the boys in Afghanistan, how they feel, how much responsibility do they feel come on them, being a male part of this whole society, and is there are there certain steps that they're taking or they intend to take which will help girls in their society, female in their society, to have the same rights as them? I hope I was able to phrase my question correctly.
Like co-education and also the education of girl. A lot of people don't like to their daughter or their woman go the school or university. They have some problem, and also we have some security problems on our security situation is not good. Whenever our culture, whenever our culture have done permission with our women to go to get education, but our situation also not good. We should to send our women, we should to send our girl and also our boy with another country like Pakistan, India, and also another country to they get their education and they get their rights of education.
Ahmed, thank you so much for putting out your thoughts. I have a question for you and all the other boys there. Being a young man, what do you think you can take steps on a personal level to improve these situations for your country, for women, for your fellow beings?
Yes, the solution of this problem is that to we should to public our people should which time they can just think to by which way we can remove this problem. We should to responsibility of our people. They don't have their responsibility to they should to they send their daughter or their son to send to the school or a university to get education. Our pupil should to get this thing to in our country. Our situation is very bad, but if we think to the another country, there are girls in go the university and also the schools now they have a good life, but our life is very bad. Every day we have a lot of exclusion and also another thing which we every person can start. We is the solution of this problem to our people should to this get this thing. They see the another the situation of another country to they have to they have a good life. All people and also all girls of their country is educated, but if we think to our girl and also another people is uneducated, we our situation is bad and also our life is bad. This is the difference of educated and uneducated.
Thank you so much. Anyone else from your side who would like to come up and answer my question that how you guys being as young men, young boys can take steps on a personal level to make this society, this place better for women, that they can go out and get an education and work? They can be small steps, really. You don't have to, I would say that, of course, think big, but even
Yeah,
a small step in this cause can make a big change in someone's life.
yeah, I think the smallest steps are the hardest to take because they are the starting point. So
Yes, hello again. My name is Bashir Ahmad. My last name is Dusty. I want to talk about this idea. My idea for those people, they don't education, they don't know from education. But the
دقیقاً شاید چی مثلا چند کالش دیده واسه یا واسه یا تعلیم مشکل
Yes, we have some person they uneducated people because they go to another country, another places, and educated people they a very good job, and they don't have a problem for homes, and educated person they will problems to home to another places, and in society. You know the Lashkargah society is very bad because fight Taliban soldiers, and by this cause some person they don't education of the
from their side.
from their side.
They cannot
They cannot the very good education. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your thoughts, Bashir. Alisha,
we
do
have
you have a
another,
question?
yes,
Yeah,
we have,
please.
we have another one that he want to talk about this question and want to share his idea.
Please come.
Sure, sure.
And again, I'm Muhammad, and my last name is Kakar. And I want to speak about your this question that there is very important in Afghanistan only peace and united. United. If we have a good peace in Afghanistan, that time we can send our children that they are the girl or boys, that time we can send to schools and centers. That this is the cause that we don't have a good peace from side up Taliban's, and this is the reason that we cannot send our children for to school. If we look to the situation of Afghanistan, there is a lot of fight. If our one girl go to the school, that time when Talib come to
Firing, targeting people.
targeting that people that they come to school. This is the cause that we don't have unity in our in if we have a good brotherhood in our country. That time our all children, that our new generation will be go to the school, and this is the very important for all Afghan, that they should be united in future. If we have a good future and become, that time we can find a co-education in our among ourselves, and this is the cause that all Afghanistan are uneducated. This is your answer of your question. Thank you.
Very,
Thank you.
very well said. Very well said. And I do agree with the war-torn areas and the war and the civil disobedience that's going on. We have seen even in cities of Pakistan, like Swat and all these regions which are lined up with the border with Afghanistan. The institutions done by by the Taliban have really limited the reach of schools, and female are so the families are so scared, so they cannot send their students out and their daughters out to study, because they fear that if they go there, the Taliban's might target that place and attack that. And we have seen in the past that that's been done, and that's a very valid point to be brought up. But in addition to that, I would just like to elaborate that I feel education is something which is part of our life. It's not something that we go to a certain place and we learn from there and that we can go. So, because the most of the things, the most valuable lessons that we learn are from our families and from our inner circle. The education that we get from schools and we get from colleges and university are something supplementary to that. They add value to us. They provide us a technical perspective towards certain aspects. So if you want to become an engineer, you need to have an engineering degree. But I think education is far more broader than this. And I feel like the our fellow from the female section, Miss Arzu, brought it up, and then our friends from the boys section also brought about that education itself is something that we can just start from our own self and our own family. So as we understand and try to challenge the preconceived notions that we see in our surrounding, we will be able to create a better world for ourselves and our fellow companions. It's very ironic that I might bring it up that I was in a household where there were I had three elder sisters, and a female. My mother was my dad passed away very young, so my mother was the head of the household, and I was the youngest one, and the dynamics were completely different. Where my sisters allowed me the platform to study. So, and in a patriarchal society such as Pakistan, doing them being able to do that was a very big challenge. And it was ironic that they're going through all of that struggle to teach a boy who, in other cases, would have had all the luxuries that the society provides us. So in that scenario, I'm sharing this example with you to just see that it's not really dependent upon just men or just women. I brought this question up to hear the ideas of our fellow students, boys in Afghanistan. But it's not just the men or the women. It's a comparative, and it's something that they need to do with themselves. So it's very important that the female themselves become very vocal about what their rights are, and the men. It's very important for the men to support their rights. So on that thought, let's go to our friends in Lashkar Girls section, and let's talk about the book itself. The how what were the stories that they read which they could really connect with. So if our friends from Lashkar Girls section can talk about certain short stories that they found very interesting and something that they could relate with.
Sorry, sir, can you repeat your question again because there is internet problem. Here is internet problem.
Ma'am, okay, surely. So what I was trying to say was that the book that we have on our hands, uh, what were the short stories that your student read and that they find very interesting and they could relate to those stories? So if they can just talk about those stories that they read, which they really like or did not like for some reason.
Okay.
In the name of Allah, my name is Anisal, my last name Ulumi. I want to share my idea about this book. When I studied this book, so good stories and about Jamil and his wife. And we can benefit from his stories and about their customs, custom of Pakistan, and I know about custom of Pakistan, and we can this. This custom of constant help with custom of our countries, and we benefit and we know I know about custom of Pakistan, and this book is when I studied
benefit from their stories, and we know about all of stories of these books. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much for your input. Anyone else from Lashkar Gah girls side would like to come up and talk about the book, or any particular story that they really liked or not liked? Oh, great.
Yes, one of the percent will answer your question.
And then I have Allah. My name is Karzia. My father name is Alanazar, and I'm in the
Can you
11
please
class.
stand in the center? Please come to the center because you're not visible. Please come in front of the camera. Yes, please. Please stand a bit more to your right.
Yes.
Yes. I can see you now. Thank you.
And then this is a good book for Jamil Ahmad, and this and we find a lot of information about this book, and this book is very good and important. And Jamil Ahmad won Brown Jalender and the 1931 as a member of the Clave Service of the Pashtun. His service mills of the present possession and Belen. He was Felician Agri and he has Persian Obli and the Guesteria, and this information about the Jamil Ahmad Brown and Jamil Ahmad Brown and the 1931, and this information about Jamil Ahmad Brown.
Much. Is there any particular story in the book that you really liked?
About education and culture, storybooks and about culture and education.
Okay, thank you. I think we are also out of time, and on a closing note, I would like to talk about what we were talking about earlier, that how we can make our world or society a better place for each individual. Um, I I totally agree with what we were talking earlier, that we need to have more conversations, and if something is happening which we feel like should not happen, we should have active and healthy conversations and try to change the mindsets, the narratives of our society, so that every human being has a choice to live their life on their own terms and have experiences on their own terms. So thank you so much everyone for connecting. And I apologize that our participants from Hyderabad were not able to connect. We'll try our best and make sure that they are connected next time. So thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you next month again with a new book. And please come up, have more questions for us as well. You guys can always ask questions us as well. We are also your participants, your friends from Pakistan. Okay.
Definitely.
So on this note, let's end our conversation. And thank you so much, everyone. Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz, everyone. Thank you so much for connecting with us. Thank you.